Sir, thank you so much. Will say, I think you've been an inspiration to all of us, the Gen Next, and the kind of cinema what you're doing is heartwarming. From your days from a small town boy from Gwalior, reaching the Bollywood, making his first debut with Chocolate, and then coming out with a transformational change with his lovely cinema from the Tuscan Files to the Kashmir Files. Now we are waiting for the Delhi Files coming up. You know, that's going to be your last sequence, what you have said, but we want more files coming up. And we all glued to you. And as far as our introduction is concerned, sir, we have been a part of a legacy, cultural legacy, serving the city from last 80 years, our family. And we are the third generation, and fourth generation is already into us. So we continue to contribute and give our legacy back to the city which we all love, Lucknow. And we have amazing strength of people today who only come to hear you. From a class 3 Rajshri. And I asked her, she said, no, I'm very fond of reading, I want to meet sir. To Swati ji, she's doing a PhD in films, and she has so many questions to ask you about your work. So yes, it's going to be a very fruitful afternoon, and I request one thing more about the book. Obviously, it's about the magic mantras to success. Sir has seen it all. Sir has lived with it, and his examples are not preaching. It's about telling you all that tough times never last, but tough people do. And वो कहते हैं कि वो हकदार है किनारों के जो बदल दे बहारों को. कुछ वो भी हैं जो वक्त के सांचे में ढल गए, और कुछ वो भी हैं जिनसे वक्त के सांचे बदल गए. So he is the one who has been continuously inspiring generations, and especially sir, your cinema has been overpowering. And the latest movie which he's here for, the vaccine war, you all must go out there to see today. It's happening, and it's again an eye-opening movie. And the kind of cinema what you're doing, sir, the realistic cinema, I think this is what India wants, to see the real cinema out, the stories of unseen heroes, which you get them out so beautifully. It's mind-blowing. This book is a different kind of a book. So I got this book day before in my hand, and I was just wanting to understand, is it a run-of-the-mill book? Is it a normal preaching book? Is it just a success guru month book? No. Each and every reader can be in interaction with sir. It's a book with a difference where you can interact with him directly, online with him. So this is inspirational. I don't know how you decided this, but you've got yourself in touch with book lovers directly. Always a book lover wants to meet an author. Always a book lover wants to come to know an author. And a person like you, I think you've removed everybody in between. You and your book lovers are there with you. You must pick up your book. It's a book with a difference whereby you can be with sir directly. So once again, warm welcome from all of us, a round of applause from the city of Lucknow. And this session is a complete solo session from sir to you. Whatever you want to ask, you are most welcome to ask, and sir will obviously tell his story of challenging days to his successful days. And sir, we want more of such files coming out. They'll say. Thank you, sir. Welcome. And before we start, can we do a release of the book here in the bookshop? I would request my father to give the green plant in our mission to promote greenery in Uttar Pradesh. I would request Mr. Manav Prakash, Papa can have the book. A book. It's a small token from all of us.
सर बहुत अच्छा किया अगली फिल्म के लिए ढूंढी रहा हूँ आप मुझको वीडियो ले रहा है
ये फोटो ले रहा है वीडियो
वो बच्ची कहाँ है
Could we have Shagun Taiji and निधि भाभी
थोड़ा जगह दे रहा हूँ
क्या राज क्या
नीचे
नहीं, सामने से अच्छा, आजकल ये फोटो माफिया बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है। नमस्कार। एक सेकंड क्लियर। ये छोटी कितने साल की हो? ये 8 साल की बच्ची है और इन्हीं के लिए मैंने बुक लिखी है। ओके, so I have written the book and I think she is the one who should inaugurate. Open it. बोल दो, डरो नहीं, थोड़ा बहुत
अरे आप कितना पीछे हो
तो बैठ जाओ, तो बैठ जाओ।
यूँ आओ
So here she is. Hold this. So thank you very much for being here. This is the first public event of this book. Actually, I came here for a different purpose. I came here because there's a screening of my film here. But then this book has been there for last 1 or 2 months, and I was traveling all across every single day, so I didn't have time for this. पर मैंने कहा कि अगर इसको प्रॉपर्ली लॉन्च करना है तो लखनऊ में किया जाए, क्योंकि लखनऊ का अपना मज़ा ही अलग है। देखिए, मज़ा लखनऊ में है लेकिन फील लखनऊ में है। तो मैं भी आपका पड़ोसी हूँ, कानपुर से ही हम लोग भी। एंड सो द आइडिया, actually I never thought that this would convert into a book. I walk every morning, very early in the morning, and what I used to do was I would just record something, whatever thought came to my mind at that moment. I would just record or write a blog or write tweets. If you follow me on Twitter, I write on creative consciousness. आजकल थोड़ा बंद किया है, बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रोल हो गए फिल्म के कारण, but otherwise, so that's what I used to do. And I always believed that two most important gifts which human beings have and nobody else. First, every species in this world has one gift of God, which is breathing. We breathe, therefore we are. The moment we stop breathing, we are not. So, but animals also breathe. What makes us different from animals? You must have read lots of motivational people write and inspirational leaders. Everybody says, find a purpose of your life, do this, do that, and 1 million things have been said. We read them, but we are not being able to do that. The reason we are not being able to do that is because it's just an utopia. Okay, those things don't happen. Why we don't find happiness in life? The only reason, this is my understanding, and I am not a motivational person, and I hate motivational speakers. And I don't like that business of, because that has confused the world. Because what they do is they try to impress you, they never express themselves. What we learn best is from people's life's experiences. That's why autobiographies of very simple, common people are far better. And your own autobiography actually is the most useful thing in the world. Nothing can teach you better than your own. And if after that, if you want to read anybody else's biography, read your mother's biography. That's it. You don't have to learn many lessons in life. We are not born to learn. We are not born to accumulate knowledge. That is not the purpose of life. We are here to enjoy our life as a human being. People talk about heaven and hell, स्वर्ग, नरक, जन्नत, सबकी बात करते हैं. पर आपसे मैं ये पूछता हूँ, आप मुझे बताइए. You are born on a planet which has just the perfect temperature for us to live. This is the only place in the entire universe, cosmos, invisible universes, visible universes, where you can breathe, there is oxygen, there are plants, there are rivers. There are other people you can love and they can love you back. This is the only perfect place in the entire universe known to us. Which heaven we want to go to, this is what I have never been able to understand. This is my own, इसको हिंदी में कहते हैं दुविधा, my own problem in life. ये बड़ी विडंबना है. जितने भी रिलीजन्स हैं दुनिया के, सब बात करते ये करो तो वो होगा, लेकिन जो है और क्या है because we are here. I mean, what can be better than this? And on top of that, not just breathing, there are lots of people here. What do you think? God has just given us two greatest gifts, which are yours. Nobody can take from you. Everything else can be taken from you. So what is that second gift you have got, which no other species, no other किसी प्राणी के पास नहीं है?
Compassion.
No, animals also have compassion. It has been found. Horse, when the owner dies, the horse doesn't even walk for many days. They just sit there. Cows in my village, I have seen cows when the owner dies, they come and they also have compassion. Dogs, animals, everybody has.
Think, they can think. Speech.
No, even animals have been found to have speech. Monkeys, I was just reading, मैंने शायद बुक में कहीं उल्लेख भी किया है. Monkeys, they speak to each other. Okay, when a tiger is coming, there is a language they speak, and so all the monkeys, they say something and they go up on the trees, they climb trees. And if a big vulture is coming, then they speak and they hide in bushes. So animals also have, plants also have speech.
Intellectual thing.
Conscious mind, I think the mind we have got.
What is conscious mind? Conscious mind is nothing, knowing things around you, that is consciousness.
Subconscious.
The only thing which makes us really apart from everybody else is the gift of imagination. We can imagine.
True.
Nobody else can imagine. Animals can't imagine. And by imagination, I don't mean dreaming. Okay? First you have to understand dreaming and imagination are two different things. Dreaming shakechikli log karte hain. And dreaming comes from subconscious mind. Okay, and subconscious mind is a regressive mind. All the regression, everything which is repressed. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Your nightmares, fears, insecurities are in your subconscious mind. So all dreams ultimately fail. They break. For the reason because they are coming from non-continuous chain of ideas. So imagination. आप सब लोग यहाँ पे कपड़े पहन के बैठे हैं. Okay, but the reason we are not naked is because of a very small thing called button. Right? It was somebody's imagination. The reason we are on the moon is somebody's imagination. The reason the last person can listen to me as clearly as the front row because of this mic. Somebody's imagination. Compassion is also part of imagination. We imagine that if we feel like this, therefore the world, we can live cohesively and together. That is also coming from imagination. Human beings are known anthropologically not to have compassion. We were only born to kill and eat and have sex, that's it. But with imagination, we regulated sex, we regulated food, everything we have regulated. Now we overeat is another thing, that's a negative imagination. So, and what is this imagination for? Creativity. You create something. Okay? So the point I am trying to make is where this book came from. So fundamentally I realized that the reason we do anything, success, God, I mean nobody can define success. Whatever, you can have the best car, best thing in the world, the most beautiful person, city, wherever. Ultimately something will be more beautiful, more expensive, more stylish than that. You can, a lot of friends of mine, they say, we want nature. You know, and the ultimate in nature is Manali or Goa. They go and settle there. After some time they find some other cities better than that. More people have come here. So you will always live in chaos. Chaos is part of life. It's inevitable. Running away from chaos, I think, is a problem. So the reason we are unhappy in life and we have fear of losing things, that is the main thing, is because we are not creative. And if you see, all of us are born creative. There is no child in this world, normal, abnormal, physically able or physically disabled, who is not born with creativity. I'll give you just one very, मैं थोड़ा बोलूँ 5 मिनट फिर सवाल जवाब करते so that they understand in which context I'm talking. NASA did one research, and for younger people it's a very useful thing I'm going to tell. NASA did a research. They said why we need the best brains in the world. So why employ them after they come out from college? Why don't we find them, identify them when they go to school, right at the first grade kindergarten level? So they conducted a huge, one of the biggest research. It's all available on, you can Google, थोड़ा सा advanced research करेंगे तो you'll find that research. So they said, okay, let's identify how many children are creative genius and how many are creatively duffers. And when they conducted on huge number of children all across the world, and they found that 98% children who were about to join the school on the first day of the school, 98% of them were creative geniuses. Right? Without any difference of even 0.1%. ऐसा नहीं कि एक बच्चा 99.9% है, दूसरा 99.8% है, वैसा नहीं. Every child turned out to be 100% creative genius. और ये मैं कोई अतिशयोक्ति करके आपको नहीं बता रहा हूँ for making an impact. मैं भी सरप्राइज हो गया था. और जो 2% बच्चे जो नहीं थे क्रिएटिव जीनियस was because of some kind of autism or something, some deficiency they had. Motor problems, basically, motor coordination problems. So therefore they couldn't express themselves. And since they couldn't express themselves, they couldn't figure out their state. So they got very excited. And they said, okay, let's repeat this when these children are 10-year-old, after 5 years. And when they conducted that research, now can anybody guess how many were creative genius and how many were not?
It must have gone down.
G?
It must have gone down.
G. Now only 33% kids were creative genius, rest were all creative duffers. And then they repeated the same thing when they were 15 years old. And at that time, only 13% were creative genius and rest were not. And finally they conducted when they were 20 years old and they were almost graduating. Now guess what were the figures? 98% were creative duffers, only 2% were creative genius. अब रीजन बताइए इसका क्या है? मैं बताता हूँ. रीजन ये है कि 5 साल का जो बच्चा होता है, the moment he goes to school, we start telling him that this child is creative, this child is not creative. And what we understand by creativity is कौन गाना कितना अच्छा गाता है. देखिए मेरा बेटा कितना क्रिएटिव है, गाना गाता है. My child is very creative, ये पेंटिंग बनाता है. ये देखिए मैथ्स में कितना अच्छा है, तो ये तो इंजीनियर बनेगा. अरे नहीं बेटा, इंजीनियर को एस्ट्रोनॉट बनना. और देखो हमारी बेटी ये पेंटिंग बनाती है, बड़ी क्रिएटिव है. यही बात होती है ना, स्कूल में भी यही होता है. क्रिएटिविटी का अलग से पीरियड होता था. मैं जब पढ़ता था सेंट्रल स्कूल में, केंद्रीय विद्यालय में, तो वी यूज्ड टू हैव अ पीरियड ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी. इसमें कुछ बच्चे डांस में चले जाते थे, कुछ पेंटिंग में, कुछ गाने में, और हम जैसे चले जाते थे आवारागर्दी करने, भाग भूग के खेलने के. ये इसी कारण इस दुनिया में इतनी अनहैप्पीनेस है. दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई वी आर थ्रू आउट अवर लाइव्स, वी मरते दम तक आदमी यही पूछता है मेरी लाइफ का पर्पस क्या है. ये सीख लूं. वी आर ऑलवेज वांटिंग समथिंग मोर. व्हाट इज दैट समथिंग मोर वी वांट? वी डोंट नो. यू नो व्हाट? वी वांट टू क्रिएट. दैट इज समथिंग मोर यू वांट. आई कैन गिव यू $1 billion and you will still want $2 billion. But if I give you a small space of land and say, create your own garden, I'm telling you life will change if you create it. ना माली को बुला के करवाने से नहीं होता है, वो नहीं है. ऐसे तो निशात गार्डन, ये गार्डन कितने होते हैं. You create when you create your own. Why housewives generally are more satisfied than the man of the house? क्योंकि वो घर में कभी प्लांट्स कर लेती हैं, चिड़ियों को खाना खिला देती हैं, किसी की शादी में जाके कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट करती हैं. दे आर कॉन्स्टेंटली इन द खाना बनाती हैं, सेवा करती हैं. एंड अबव ऑल दे आर क्रिएटिंग कैरेक्टर्स, दे आर क्रिएटिंग पीपल, दे आर क्रिएटिंग मैन एंड वुमेन टू लिव इन दिस वर्ल्ड. दैट्स व्हाई दे मैं रिप्रोडक्शन की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. रिप्रोड्यूसिंग अ चाइल्ड इज नॉट समथिंग व्हिच इज क्रिएटिविटी. सो होता क्या है, हम बचपन से हमको बता दिया जाता है तुम क्रिएटिव हो, तुम नहीं क्रिएटिव. And I go to lots of universities and colleges. मैं कल ही गया था वहाँ, some 2-3,000 students होते हैं, कोई MBA कर रहा है, कोई एस्ट्रोनॉट बनना चाह रहा था इंदौर में. तो मैंने उन सबसे पूछा आप में से कितने क्रिएटिव हैं. मुश्किल से 40-50 हाथ उठे, उनमें भी ज्यादातर लड़कियों के थे, क्योंकि वो सब लड़के एस्ट्रोनॉट बनने जा रहे थे, रॉकेट बनाने जा रहे थे. मैंने कहा वो क्रिएटिविटी नहीं है, रॉकेट बनाना, चलाना, उड़ाना. उनके दिमाग में ही नहीं ये बात आई कभी कि क्रिएटिंग सॉफ्टवेयर फॉर अ कंप्यूटर और आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी. एवरी चार्ट. आप क्या है साहब, मैं क्रिएटिव नहीं हूँ, मैं तो बोरिंग आदमी हूँ सर, मैं तो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट. ऐसा बोलते हैं साहब, आई एम इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर, आई एम नॉट क्रिएटिव. दैट्स व्हाट पीपल से. टेल मी. आप, मैं भी पूछता, मैंने शुरू नहीं किया वैसे, पूछता कितने क्रिएटिव हैं, लिख के ले लीजिए, सारे हाथ नहीं उठते थे, 4-6 साथ उठते. पर एवरीथिंग यू डू इन योर लाइफ इज क्रिएटिविटी. सो देयरफॉर the day I understood this NASA research changed my life. The day I understood that, believe you me, I am not saying it because of this. आप अगर मेरे को जो लोग जानते हैं, मुझे कुछ चाहिए भी नहीं, मेरी तो नीड्स ही इतनी कम है, मुझे कोई कुछ दे भी नहीं सकता सिवाय ये प्लांट्स वगैरह के. मैं my life changed. I suddenly found success for myself, not in worldly sense. Worldly sense में तो थी नहीं success. लोगों को लगता है कश्मीर फाइल से success नहीं है, लेकिन मैं उसके 10 साल पहले से success फील कर रहा था. एक्चुअली कश्मीर फाइल्स को तो मैं अपनी लाइफ की सक्सेस का पार्ट मानता भी नहीं. वो मेरी सक्सेस है ही नहीं, वो किसी और की सक्सेस है, वो देखने वालों की सक्सेस है, मेरी नहीं है. मेरी सक्सेस वो है जो मैंने क्रिएट किया, और उसके लिए मुझे किसी को दिखाने की भी जरूरत नहीं. एंड दिस बुक इज पार्ट ऑफ दैट. दिस आई वॉज एवरी डे आई वॉज वॉकिंग और डूइंग समथिंग, और गाड़ी चलने जा रहा हूँ, कहीं जा रहा हूँ. सो व्हाट द रियल थॉट्स जो आपके होते हैं ना, जो असली इंस्टिंक्ट के लेवल पे होते हैं, which you are just your expression, your real life expression, not you are not saying to impress someone. तो मैंने उनको रिकॉर्ड करना शुरू कर दिया, कहीं ब्लॉग में इधर. फिर एक there is a young man called विश्वास तिवारी in भोपाल. He used to read. उसने मुझे बोला कि मेरी लाइफ चेंज हो गई है, can I compile that? And he compiled and sent it to me. And that's how it became Book of Life. Okay, so one creation led to another creation. एंड इसमें अलग अलग तरह की चीजें हैं. कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि ये करोगे तो ये हो जाएगा, वो करोगे तो वो हो जाएगा. ये एवरीडे सक्सेस. जैसे मैं झूला कभी नहीं झूलता था, क्योंकि वहाँ बच्चे झूलते थे, गार्डन में सब बड़े लोग वॉक करते, कोई झूला नहीं झूलता था. और झूले में बैठते भी थे तो सब अंकल टाइप के लोग बैठ के वहाँ पे पॉलिटिक्स की बात किया करते. झूला कोई नहीं झूलता. एंड आई रियलाइज ये जो झूला है ना, ये इतना लाइफ चेंजिंग एक्सपीरियंस है. अगर आप करके देखें, यू विल स्लोली योर वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट थिंग्स स्टार्ट चेंजिंग. व्हाट इज जॉय, व्हाट इज एंजॉयमेंट. हम बिना किसी और क्रचेस के एंजॉय करना भूल चुके हैं. तो आई जस्ट पुट इट इन अ बुक फॉर्म एंड आई लव बुक्स. मैं कभी अभी भी डिजिटल बुक्स में नहीं पढ़ता, मैं सिर्फ बुक्स हाथ में पढ़ता हूँ. तो दैट्स व्हाई दिस बुक इज हियर. आप इसको पढ़िएगा, आपको अगर अच्छी लगे तो यू कैन ऑलवेज इंटरेक्ट विद मी, यू कैन टॉक टू मी. और ज़रूरत नहीं है बात ज़्यादा करने की, आप खुद अपना लिखिए. ये आप मेरी लाइफ की बुक है, ये आपकी भी लाइफ की बुक हो सकती है. यू राइट योर ओन लाइफ. सो दिस इज व्हाट इट इज.